What's up, Dragon Brood? Today we're going to be taking a look at a Simic list that finished 9th in a recent Standard Showdown. So this is actually a pretty sweet looking list. It looks very different than what we would expect, and it plays the new Jackal slash Druneth, I believe is the name of the character. So let's take a look and see how this works out. So we've got 3 Bounce Off, which is just a catch-all bounce spell, which is fine. It can be used offense or defensively, actually. Do have Spyglass Siren, so we get some flyers in here. Some Defend the Rider, which I'm a big fan of this card. I really like it. Does a lot of work here. We do have 4 Llanowar Elves, 4 Paw Patch Recruits, and it's playing 4 Azure Beastbinders. This turns off a lot of things. It's hard to block, and it does have Vigilance. And interestingly, it does play Druneth, Reviver of the Hive. Now, this was also Jackal something Scientist, I believe, is the regular paper version. But this is a 2-mana 1/1 with Trample. Whenever you cast a creature spell with mana value equal to Druneth's power, copy that spell, except the copy isn't legendary. And then you put a +1/+1 counter on this. Now, I will say previously, we've only seen decks with Druneth that actually have a bunch of X cost creatures, so color and X, so that way it scales all the way up. But here, we're just kind of playing our creatures and then getting duplicates of them, and it plays a lot of things that are 1 mana. They can also take advantage of this, so it's very interesting to have this in the list. Also playing Xenomorph Imago, which whenever you play a land, you turn creatures into 3/3s, and then if you have a lot of lands, you turn them into 6/6s. We have Surrak, Elusive Hunter, being great that it can't be countered. It has Trample, let you draw some cards. And then, of course, Enduring Curiosity. This card's fantastic, especially if you have flyers and a bunch of early creatures. This lets you draw a bunch of cards with your creatures deal damage. And we're playing blue and green, so you know we're going to have some Ouroboros in here if we're going to be playing creatures for beatdown. Now, interesting here, it doesn't have any counters. It doesn't have any of the weird trickery to save your creatures from stuff outside of, like, Bounce Off and Defend the Rider, but maybe that's just enough here. So we'll find out. But at the end of the video, as always, there'll be a link that takes you over to Moxfield, our channel sponsor, or you can also just go buy these if you want to play them yourself. Go over to Tales of Adventure. It's toamagic.com for whatever you want to buy, whatever you want to bling out. Go check them out. Use my code. It's DRAGN. You'll save 5% on everything you buy over there. And that's a pretty good savings, considering Magic can get expensive sometimes. For now, though, let's go see if this 9th place Simic deck can hold its own in best of 1. Okay, let's keep it. We can rock and roll with this. This seems more than fine. I think I might even... Oh, you know what? I needed to play this first, or one of these. So I could have played both of these on this turn. But now that I missed the opportunity, I think I'm just going to do this. It doesn't make sense just to play one of these and not do anything else for the turn. But I wasn't even thinking about having 2 blue. I guess because I expect my Llanowar Elves to die so often, if I'm being honest. It's kind of part of the problem. Beastbinder. Does it live? Does it live? I mean, if they counter it, we get to draw a card because of Surrak anyway. Opponent, does it live? That is the real question of the moment. Alright, it does make it. Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's see if you want to counter this. Maybe you do. I'm just fishing for cards, because I just got lands in hand, so whatever. I will not be actually, maybe I am going to attack with Llanowar Elf. I have plenty of mana. And if they flash something in just to block, I think we're okay. So all the stuff I can think in that people flash in is... No, I'm actually going to use this. I'm only going to attack with my Surrak, I think. Most of the stuff that's going to be flashed in is 1 toughness, but this is fine. I'm going to put this on the Beastbinder. Because there has to be a spell, right? We're holding all this land. Druneth, okay, sure. You're not really what we want, but you'll do. Lumbering World Wagon. Alright, and then that's it? That was a strange game. I'm not really sure what happened there. But maybe they only had a couple basics. We're holding them in hand. I got no clue. Okay, easy keep. Actually, here's a fun question. How many of y'all play fantasy football right now? I'm in, I don't know, like 6 leagues, I think. 6 or 7. And also, what's your favorite site? I'm realizing I don't think I like ESPN's site all that much for fantasy football. It feels like it doesn't have some of the basic info when I want it a lot of the times. I'm going to go ahead and play the recruits in hopes that we get to resolve an Ouroboros next turn. I don't know that we will, but maybe. Well, that's not a good way for us to resolve that. Play fired bricks. Okay, well, we're going to play that anyway, because if this is a synthesizer deck, there's a chance they're just going to drop a Star Cage, and I would rather have Ouroboros already cooking. Go for it. All right. See, I told y'all there was going to be a Star Cage. Sometimes you just know things, y'all. Oh, okay. I hear you, deck. I was not familiar with your game, but I'm paying attention now. Let's move them counters. Hell yeah. And I don't think you have a way to get rid of 2 things here. You might get rid of one of them, but not both of them. Man, we are just brute forcing this against the synthesizer deck. Yeah, you can have them 2 life. That don't mean much here. Your 2 life has no value here. Yeah, that doesn't do anything. Yeah. Sure. Yes, I could switch them. It doesn't really matter. Opponent's at 12. We're attacking with 2 25+ guys. All right. Got it. And this is one of those cases where sometimes you might wonder why I don't run Ouroboros out and other times where I do. This time it was a case of this being the only thing I had at the time that cost more than 2. So I needed to rush it onto the battlefield with the expectation that it was realistically possible that Starcade showed up. If Starcades did not show up, because we know what most of the synthesizer decks look like, the next option was going to be for them to play something directly that gets rid of Ouroboros. But even then, we had already pumped up our other creatures that were on the battlefield, and then the recruits would then put an additional 2+1/+1 somewhere, and still puts us in range of being able to kill the opponent. So it's kind of why we went that route, and it worked out. Yeah, this is interesting because I'm going to keep it. I just don't know, like, the order I want to play stuff. Like, is it worth it to run Druneth out there, hoping you find a thing? Or because Druneth's going to start at 1, do I just play Imago instead on 2 and hope to find another 1-mana thing so I can play, like, Druneth and the 1 on a turn? Which is probably the correct action, but truthfully, I don't know. Now the question is, do we just leave up Defend the Rider so we can protect our thing against mono red here? I do not know. I have so many questions on what the right player situation is here. I'm assuming Paw Patch is dead, right? Nope. I mean, we're not blocking. Are you just going to pay for the Hired Claw? They are. Nope, they thought about it. So they're just going to kill our Paw Patch anyway? Nope, just play another Hired Claw. Okay. That ends up being a lot of damage in just a couple turns. Here's an interesting thing, right? We could save the bounce off. I think I'm going to take 2 here. And then we're just going to pass the turn. And then if they attempt to kill Recruit, we could protect it. And then if we were to find a 1-mana thing, we could Druneth plus the 1-mana thing next turn. And we'll be down around like 12 life-ish, I think. So it's not terrible. Here comes... what? Interesting. Nothing. So I'm going to take 2. Go to 14. Alright. I'm in. Seems fine. I block, they pump, I bounce the one they pump. Like, that's probably the correct plan of action here. Yeah, alright. And then I just take my 1 here. Seems reasonable. Like, it's kind of like if that's the worst they're doing, then I guess it's fine. Okay. So here's what we're going to try to do here. We do this. Then we play a Siren. Siren's going to get a copy because Druneth was at a 1 power. Alright, that seems strong. No attacks. And then we could play Imago next turn, get 2. Oh, here's a funny thing because of Siren. There are ways you could get this up to a 4 and then get double Ouroboros, which is kind of funny. I don't think we're going to hit that this game, but it is amusing that that's even an option that's available. Do I want to double block something here? Like, I feel like I could be talked into that. So, yeah. Why not? And if they want to save their creature by, like, targeting Paw Patch first, then we just move counters around and it's whatever. Alright. And then you pump your other one? Great. Alright. We're only going to be at 6, so we can be burned out here. Or actually 7, so we can't quite be burned out. Ah, I was kind of hoping we get something else there. Alright. Well, Druneth becomes a 3. We get 2 Imagos. Play this tapped. I think we'll let this be a 3. I think I want to sit back on the Druneth, actually. And we'll just attack. It's very tempting to try to put Druneth to a 4 and then go double Ouroboros and try to just make that the lethal hit. I just don't know if we can. Like, I guess we go for it, right? We're trying to do the big thing, see what this deck's all about. We missed. Alright, well, it would have been better holding up to defend the Rider. That sucks. Lightning Strike's real bad for us. Ooh, Dragon might be the play if they're just playing that untapped. They could kill a Spyglass Siren, attack. We go down to take 4, take 5. Oh, Sunspine Links. Well, that's a whole lot of not fun. During Curiosity, you're a little late to the party, friend. Let's make this a 3 power. We'll make this a 3 power. Oh, I did that wrong. I could have done Ouroboros. Yeah, I should have done this first. I goofed up. I just cost ourselves the game. That's tough. Yeah, if I'd have made that 3 and these all would have got the bonus anyway. Yeah. That's bad news. That's tough. Yeah, we just lost this one. I played poorly there. I should have made the Ouroboros a 3. Because then it would have put a counter. Would have moved 4. Yeah. Yeah. Just a bad call. I deserve to lose this one, actually. I think I played it wrong a couple of steps in there. I mean, any burn spell or any hasty thing, I just die. So, I mean, why not? Or another cat. I die that way with Sunspine Links. So, I mean, I die to a bunch of things. I'll just screw up the GGs. I can't imagine with 4 cards, they don't have a way to kill me. Kill the Ouroboros, attack, pump, like that gets me. Like, alright, GG's. Okay. Yeah, this is fine. Like, not as aggressive as you'd like to be being on the play, but it'll get the job done. Then we have Defend the Rider. We have... I mean, I guess we just Surrock and go for it. If they play a mana creature or something, we could turn it off, I guess. Oh, we're definitely turning off a Tifa. That's big business here. Yep, no love for you, friend. Yeah, I didn't even think about how good Beastbinder is against those decks, but it's pretty exceptional. And then that'll come in tapped, which means we don't have to stare at a Hydra until next turn, which will be pretty far ahead with the Ouroborid and stuff. So that's good. Let's go ahead and do that. Now, they can give Tifa hexproof, which is amusing. So that's a thing that could happen here. I mean, we're still going to attempt it. Alright, well that worked. Got a giant growth or something in there to trade with Surrak? Or an overprotect? Nope, nope. Alright. Well, if they don't have a big turn here this turn, this might just be easy peasy. Yeah, there's a Hydra, but it ain't going to do very much. We go Imago. Play this land tapped. Grow our Ouroborid. Go get in there. Yep, that's going to do it. Yeah, that felt very textbook. Like, we didn't even have the 1 mana things, and it was just like, all right, play this, pump our stuff, do our thing, game. And Imago with Ouroborid's actually pretty legit. Not gonna lie, this feels kind of bad, but we're gonna keep it. Kind of hoping I get a reasonable 1 mana thing to play here. Hey, that is the most reasonable 1 mana thing to play. Love that. Now, that being said, we kind of end up... If you see blue-green, a lot of times you need to leave up your bounce spells because they're playing something like Kona. But we'll know on turn 3 usually if they play a vehicle or something that would allow a creature to be tapped. This is not that. Like, Doc Arlock? Definitely not that. So, good to know. I think we're going to play this. I am just going to probably bounce Doc Arlock here. Plotting cards cost you 2 less. I'm just trying to think. Yeah, let's just do this. Get this out of the way. And then we'll play the Imago. And then I think I'm just going to go into Ouroborid next turn. Assuming they try to replay Doc Arlock and something. And then we'll just hope getting ahead at that stage is good enough. Because those decks are able to pop off pretty effectively. We've seen it our fair share. And then play this duder. No, they actually have it. Yep. Bounce our creature. Hey, I can't fault them. If you got it, you got it. Alright. But now they know we have an Ouroborid, so they're probably going to play around it. So I'm kind of hoping for a 1 mana creature here. So we can Ouroborid, play our land, play the 1 mana thing, and sort of just see what happens. Though they could also, like, bounce our Llanowar Elf with the assumption we don't have a land, and, you know, a lot of weird things could still happen here. Alright, you have a 4/4. This is going to give them a lot of mana next turn, though. This opens up options for a lot of things for them. But we're going to go here. We did not get our thing we were hoping for. Alright. They have a ton of mana here, so everything is on the board. What's the craziest thing you're about to do here? Okay, that opens up the door for a lot of cards to be cast. Riddler, yeah. 2 cards from the Riddler. This is kind of where they get to start going off a little bit. Winter Night Stories. Okay, that could have been a lot worse. That doesn't feel nearly as bad as it could have been. And the opponents... Don't attack your opponent. You're going to need to block next turn. There's a lot of blocking coming your way. Okay, that is tapped. As much as I like Surrak, I think I just want to play these 2 bodies here. So I'm going to play an Imago. We're going to play the Beastbinder. We're going to play a land. We're going to... Ouroboros, 1-3 with 3 counters. Let's go ahead and do base power here. And we're going to up the power of the other one that's flying. I think that's what we want to do. All right. Cool. And now 2 things on the ground have to be blocked. All right. Opponent's at 1. I feel like we're like mostly okay. Yeah, Winter Night Stories. There's some more cards. Yep, that'll do it. Yeah, we're keeping this, right? I mean, sucks to be a Llanowar elf in this world, but... yeah, I think we still do it anyway. I was thinking I might just play Siren into Imago, but it's whatever. I mean, we all know the Llanowar elf is dead. Sure. You can kill it that way, too. That works. You got it. Alright. More Siren action. I think we do this because it's a 1-3. Make them have to spend a big removal spell on it. A little tough that we don't have a second blue mana yet. Yep, there's a Lightning Strike. We expected to see that. Alright, come on, deck. Be there. Blue source. No. That's sad. Alright. Maybe we can find one. Gotta do this the hard way. It's weird that this time I'm hoping there's a land on top, and there's not. That's disappointing. It's like when I want there to be a land, there's not. Or when I want there to be a spell, there's not. I can't get it right. Wow, just shocking me. That's crazy. Oh, and then Hazoret. I get it. So you can go hasty with the Hazoret. That makes sense. Can't fault you there. Yeah, bring the pain. I'll take 7. I mean, you did the thing. And I'm stuck with just 2 land and only 1 blue. So, I mean, this is what should happen. And the opponents had the all damage hand, too. They actually drew pretty well against us with our situation. Alright, they're getting in there. We're not blocking. Like, do whatever you're going to do. I mean, yeah, I was going to say, we don't find the land. None of this really matters anyway. So, GG's. I'm not even going to bother fighting it. They get the win. Ooh, what do we do with this? Triple Beastbinder, huh? Alright, we'll try it. Probably terrible, but I don't think I've ever had a hand with more than 1 Beastbinder. Good old Llanowar elves. We'll go attacking. Beastbinder is such a crazy card. Just the fact that it just turns stuff off, like, outright is wild. Let's... and it has Vigilance, which seems so crazy to me. Yeah, I'm just going to attack. I want to leave up my bounce-offs. Alright, we'll play another one of these. In the turn. Oh, I thought they might have had a kill spell there. It's tempting to want to bounce a Llanowar Elf if I think they could potentially be playing sweepers in that deck. But at the same time, I could just bounce my own Beastbinders. Which is... oh, well... can't really cast this. Well, that's a little disappointing. Let's, yeah, just play one of these here. See how the opponent feels about it. Paw Patch. Under the circumstances, as much as I would like to play Ouroboros, Paw Patch is acceptable. We'll both target you. Alright. Not the normal plan of action there, but it'll have to work. Elegy Acolyte. We would like to bounce that. This is just a weird tempo-y kind of game now. Yep, opponent says that's enough. Yeah, the crazy part is I didn't even really have to bounce that, because I could have just attacked, turned them both. I mean, I guess, well, no, if I turn them into 2 power, they can't even block, so then they just don't do anything. They sort of just sit there. And then I was going to play a Paw Patch Recruit, so then if they actually even had removal for 1, we're getting to move counters around. So, yeah, if they didn't have a sweeper, nothing else was really going to matter there. All right. Beastbinders and Recruits and a bunch of Llanowar Elves. This is as good as anything, I suppose. Went and got a Foresta. Oh, and we found an Enduring Curiosity. Hold up. This could be interesting. Curiosity with Beastbinder. That's kind of a fun little pile of stuff, too. I dig that. Sure. You get a big Chocobo. So this is kind of interesting. We get to potentially turn a Chocobo off. Just play another Llanowar Elf. Tempting to play Paw Patch Recruit, but we're kind of trying to unlock some cards here. And really, turning the Chocobo into a 2/2, it still has +1/+1 counters on it, so it doesn't do a whole lot. We need to find a hard way to bounce it. Oh, I thought the opponent was... Well, they might have another Bushwhack, and then they could just fight our Beastbinder. Yeah. Nope. They just have a Ride the Shoe Puff. Alright, well, that's... Could have been definitely worse. Not mad at that. What do we do here? I guess if nothing else, we still attack, turn off the Chocobo, get our mana. Yeah, alright. Let's go ahead and do this. We'll get a card. At least that won't grow anymore next turn. Play this. We can block with Enduring Curiosity for a turn if we have to. Alright, Bristly Bill. I see you. Obviously, we'd much rather turn off Bristly Bill. Well, that's not going to happen now. But if they have no lands, I would double block a Chocobo. Let me tell you. That is in the realm of things I would consider. Let's attack with an Enduring Curiosity here, though. See what you're thinking about. Cool. Well, apparently not a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and do this and get 2 cards. And maybe I find an untapped land, and then I'll just play some Paw Patch Recruits. Failed that miserably. But I probably will just play a Paw Patch anyway. In case of Ouroboros appearance. And any more fight spells, because they're obviously playing both sets of these, so we would get to move some +1/+1 counters around. Yeah, you have an ideal of Nylea or whatever. That's the play? Alright, I guess. I mean... You put a +1/+1 on it. I mean, I guess you could have Giant Growth. Yeah, sure. Alright, I'm blocking. I don't know what else is supposed to happen there, so I'm like, yeah, I'm your Huckleberry. Look, if you got something, you got something, I guess. They had nothing, though. If we activate this, then... Because that takes 5. So this would be 5. I could make a Llanowar Elf a 3. So that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, I'm 1 short. Well, I guess the opponent thought me being 1 short was good enough. Though, truth is, if I just attack with everything here, there's really no point to even pop, right? I just attack. I get 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 cards. And then I play Surrak plus something. And then any number of blockers or bounce spells means we're probably just not going to lose there. And the opponent would be taking, what, 6, 7, 8, 9, and they're at 6. Plus I have all this other stuff next turn. So yeah, we were far enough ahead, it didn't matter. Okay. So I would think the plan here is to play Siren, and then Siren map. Hopefully find a third land somewhere in the middle of all that sequence. And then have the opportunity to play either Surrak or set up an on-time Ouroboros. We did find the third land, so now we're just working on a fourth one. Obviously. Not another Ouroboros. Wasn't in the scope of things we wanted. Can we find an untapped land here? I guess technically... I'm going to put that in the yard. Had that even been a tapped land, I think we still would have been mostly fine with it. We would have just played Paw Patch by itself. Against the Dimir deck, they're going to have a fair amount of spot removal, so Recruit is actually a real spell to have. Now, admittedly, this may not be the Dimir deck. This could just be a control deck that's looking for a white land or something here. Alright, Botanical Sanctum. Okay, now we're in the realm of kind of where we want to be here. Alright, get in there. Opponent goes to 15. We're not going to be able to finish them next turn. So that's a little tough. But now if they have spot removal, we get to at least spread some counters around. They're going to stock up again. Alright, so here's an interesting thing. I don't even know if we can't finish them, right? We could make this 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and they'd be at 4. I don't even know if it's worth playing the Ouroboros. As crazy as that sounds. Now, if they target a Paw Patch Recruit here and we move some counters, does that change anything? Probably not. Still only +2. But, I was going to say, if they're willing to kill it, it could also mean that they don't have a sweeper in hand. Yeah, this sort of changes things. The fact that they're taking so long to decide feels like they don't have a sweeper, or they just didn't want to waste the card that they had, right? Because they were going to discard anyway, so maybe they're just looking at the best way to do stuff. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They would go to 9. If we could find a land here, we could set up Ouroboros plus Llanowar Elf. Alright. Let's see what happens here. Do you have an instant speed answer? Looks like they do. But this also feels like they don't have a sweeper, you know? Again, could be totally wrong. But that's what this feels like. I'm going to go ahead and do this anyway. And now I'm still not dedicating anything extra to the battlefield, which is nice. Druneth. Oh. Well, Druneth plus Llanowar Elf still action, right? We don't hate that. Okay, so ultimately, we got a touch more damage out of that than we anticipated. So that's actually pretty good. Alright, we get to keep our flyer. Fair. Still not to say they don't have a bigger sweeper, because they could. Or another bounce spell or something. So we do have to be a little careful. Though I think here, I might go one Ouroboros. If they have the counter or the bounce spell, whatever, that's fine. Yeah, we're not too hurt over that. Obviously, it's a control pile. I just don't know what kind of control pile at this point. And that's what we're trying to figure out. I was say, you're not just going to let me keep an Ouroboros, right? If so, can I play Boroid? Okay, they're going to bounce this. Fair enough. Alright, we can live with that. That works for us. Let's go Druneth. Spyglass Siren. And then counter on a Siren. Nope, a land. Okay. But that does unlock some other plays for next turn, too. Yeah, that's fine. That can go away. They're digging deep to keep finding stuff here. So they spent 2, they spent 6. So they did pay the kicker. I mean, we're kind of making them dig to deal with our cards 1 for 1, and I'm kind of okay with that. Can we effectively put a counter on the Ouroboros? We can't. Oh, defend the Riders on top. Dang. Alright. Opponent's going to go to 1. And we just play this tapped. And just have all of our answers available. I mean, we have a creature land, actually. We just win with that. If they play a big sweeper here. That's not true. They could also have a spot removal. Another, like, shoot the sheriff. What you got going, opponent? Oh, yeah, sure. We're good. Their plan was going to be to mill us out the hard way. Yep. Got there. You know, overall, this was pretty solid, and I don't think I want to change too much. I have to admit, Druneth / Jackal, I didn't think was going to be useful in a bunch of situations. And even in this deck, there were some times where, like, okay, I'm going to get a couple of a thing. But I think this deck, you're not trying to maximize it to get it to 3, 4, 5 power and just keep getting more and more things, right? Here, the plan is just, sure, I'll get extra Paw Patch Recruits. I'll get extra Sirens and use the maps, or double Imagos so I can just pump up my future Ouroboros or whatever the case is, or just get extra bodies to get advantage with Curiosity. And sometimes you're only going to make 1 or 2 token copies, and that's it, right? You get this to a 3/3, and it's good. And you kind of just have to accept that. But otherwise, this was pretty nice. This did a lot of what we wanted. It went 6-3, and honestly, it should have been 7-2, because I kind of goofed up one of those games. So, to be fair, the deck actually is worth its salt. I get how it finished 9th. If you're wanting to play some Simic, especially if you were a fan of trying to use the new Jackal, this is a spot for it. It's kind of crazy, but it works. So yeah, link in the description. Go over to Moxfield, download it. Don't forget to use my code over at Tales of Adventure. Be sure to become a member if you want to tell me what's on the channel or what to show on the channel. And remember to leave a relevant comment here so you're eligible for next week's drawing. Otherwise, just keep watching videos and watch them all the way through because it's always free and it always helps. Really appreciate y'all. That's all of you for now. We'll see you next time.